I never had my kid because of the evil stuff that's
carried over your head.
No, it's like
just how the evil in the world.
Yeah, so much evil, but even it's close to my kid. It's in his daddy, it's in his grandmother, it's in the people that.
I think that's now why.
Clout. My baby is clouted out too. Like he got hella clout, bro. Like,
have you seen the trend now?
He's
Celebrities.
more famous than me and his dad.
Listen closely, because this is one of those stories that feels fake until you realize the internet doesn't hallucinate this collectively unless something wild happened. Late night whispers turned into screenshots. Screenshots turned into voice notes. And suddenly, timelines everywhere were screaming the same question at the same time. How did this spiral this far? According to online chatter, Chrisean Rock didn't just have a bad night. Allegedly, she had a night so chaotic it made reality TV look like PBS Kids. The streets weren't just watching, they were recording. Phones were out. Stories were flying. And before anyone could even process the first rumor, a second one hit harder than a surprise diss track. People are claiming she was jumped. Not argument jumped, not security stepped in. We're talking full-blown, street-level chaos. And the internet did what it always does. It filled in the blanks with gasoline and threw a match. But here's where it gets darker. The whispers weren't just about fists. They were about where baby Junior allegedly wasn't. Suddenly, this wasn't celebrity mess. This was a morality meltdown wrapped in viral chaos. It always starts the same way. One messy post, one reckless caption, one I probably shouldn't say this but sentence that detonates like a digital grenade. By the time anyone tried to slow it down, the rumor had already sprinted across the internet barefoot and unhinged. Late night timelines began buzzing with claims that Chrisean Rock was spotted in the streets under circumstances that didn't scream celebrity appearance, but more like wrong place, wrong energy, worst timing imaginable, according to online chatter. This wasn't some controlled outing with security and glam squads. This was allegedly raw, chaotic, and very public. The type of scene where phones come out before common sense does. People online didn't just say she looked off. They said she looked gone. Allegedly stumbling, allegedly disoriented, allegedly moving like someone whose night had already slipped off the rails and into oncoming traffic. Whether exaggerated or not, the consistency of the claims gave the internet exactly what it craves, a narrative begging to be dragged, and dragged it was, within hours. Posts multiplied like conspiracy theories after midnight. Everyone suddenly knew someone who was there. Everyone had a cousin's friend's barber who saw the whole thing. The details didn't match, but the conclusion always did. Something bad happened, and it wasn't supposed to happen on camera. The word jump started appearing more and more. Not whispered, typed boldly, thrown into captions like bait. People weren't saying argument. They weren't saying scuffle. They were saying surrounded, overwhelmed, and caught slipping. Allegedly, it wasn't one-on-one. Allegedly, it wasn't fair. Allegedly, the streets decided to humble a celebrity who forgot the streets don't care about follower counts. Now let's pause here, because this is where the story swerved from messy to radioactive. As soon as the alleged altercation hit timelines, another accusation followed like a shadow. People weren't just asking what happened to Chrisean. They were asking where baby Junior was, and not in a casual way. In a judgmental, pitchfork-loaded, comment section court kind of way, screens filled with the same question over and over. Like a broken record nobody wanted to hear but everyone replayed anyway. Why wasn't the baby with her? Who was watching him? Why is she allegedly out like this? The internet didn't wait for answers. It never does. It filled the silence with assumptions and turned concern into condemnation in record time. Some framed it as neglect. Others framed it as irresponsibility. A few tried to sound sympathetic, but even that sympathy came with side eyes and disclaimers. Online narratives don't believe in gray areas. You're either a victim or a villain, and the internet was already picking costumes. What made it worse was the timing. Chrisean's name was already hovering in controversial airspace. Every move she made lately had been watched like it was the season finale of a show nobody admitted they were still binging. So when this rumor dropped, it didn't land on neutral ground. It landed on dry gasoline. People began replaying old clips, old interviews, old breakdowns, old moments where she looked overwhelmed, defensive, or unapologetically reckless. Suddenly, everything was being used as proof that this night was inevitable. As if chaos had been scheduled in advance, the sarcasm online was ruthless. Memes popped up comparing the situation to reality shows that got canceled for being too chaotic. Some joked that the streets had officially entered their villain era. Others said this made scripted drama look lazy. Humor became a shield, because laughing is easier than admitting something feels off. But underneath the jokes, the tone shifted. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. People were genuinely disturbed. The idea of a celebrity allegedly being high in the streets while her baby wasn't present hit a nerve. Especially with viewers who already felt conflicted about her choices. Commentary pages went to war. One side screamed allegedly every 3 seconds like a legal prayer. The other side didn't care. They spoke in absolutes, treating rumors like confirmed court documents. Each post tried to outdo the last, stacking outrage on top of speculation until the story felt heavier than it actually was. And through it all, Chrisean herself was silent. No immediate clapback. No late night rant. No emotional leap trying to control the narrative. That silence only made things louder. Because when the internet doesn't get answers, it writes its own script, and it's never kind. Some people claimed she was hurt badly. Others claimed the situation was being exaggerated for clicks. A few suggested this was another example of fame colliding violently with real-life environments that don't care who you are. And honestly, all 3 theories lived side by side like chaotic roommates. What kept the story alive wasn't confirmation. It was uncertainty. The lack of clarity turned every post into a cliffhanger. Everyone was waiting for footage that may or may not exist. Waiting for a statement that may or may not come. Waiting for someone close to her to slip up and confirm something by accident. Meanwhile, baby JR's name kept getting pulled into conversations he never asked to be part of. That alone intensified the backlash. Because once a child enters the discourse, the internet stops playing games. People stopped debating rumors and started moralizing behavior. And here's the most uncomfortable part. Whether any of this is fully true or partially exaggerated, the damage doesn't wait for facts. Reputations don't pause. Public perception doesn't ask for evidence. It moves fast, breaks things, and asks forgiveness later, if ever. By the end of the night, this wasn't just a rumor anymore. It was a full-blown narrative with villains, victims, and a baby placed at the center of public judgment. And the scariest part, this was only the beginning. Because once the internet smells blood, it doesn't stop at the first headline. It digs, it exaggerates, it escalates. The second wave was pure chaos dressed up as entertainment. This is the phase where the internet doesn't just talk, it performs. Allegations stop whispering and start screaming. Commentary pages sharpen their captions like knives. And suddenly, everyone has a take so loud it feels like it's trying to trend on its own. The moment bigger pages picked up the story, the tone shifted. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was branded outrage. Bold fonts, red arrows, zoomed-in screenshots with captions screaming, "Read this." People weren't asking questions. They were issuing verdicts with Wi-Fi confidence and zero hesitation. Memes arrived faster than facts ever could. Someone compared the situation to a reality show episode so wild the producers would have shut down filming for safety. Another joked that the streets had officially entered their crossover episode with celebrity culture, and nobody signed the release form. Humor became savage, not playful. The kind of jokes that make you laugh and then immediately feel guilty for laughing. Celebrities didn't even have to say names. Subtweets started popping up like fireworks. Vague statements about protecting kids, choosing better environments, and fame not saving you from consequences flooded timelines. Nobody tagged anyone, but everybody knew who the smoke was for. That's how the internet does shade now polite sentences with nuclear implications. Then came the reaction videos. Influencers leaned into their webcams like they were about to reveal classified information. Some pretended to be shocked while clearly enjoying the engagement spike. Others took a fake serious tone, nodding slowly like concerned therapists who just discovered monetization. Every reaction added a new layer of exaggeration to an already bloated story. What really escalated things was the split. One side of the internet went full prosecution mode. They treated the allegations like confirmed footage played in 4K. No mercy, no benefit of the doubt, just pure condemnation wrapped in concern. The other side pushed back, calling it another example of the internet devouring someone in real time without waiting for truth to catch up. And both sides were loud. People started dragging out timelines, timestamps, and screenshots that didn't quite line up but sounded convincing enough if you didn't look too closely. Someone claimed there was a video. Someone else claimed the video was being suppressed. Another said the footage existed but couldn't be posted for legal reasons, which is internet code for trust me. Bro, every hour added a new rumor. New angles. New insider claims. New angles. New insider claims. 1 minute, it was about the alleged altercation. The next, it was about who she was allegedly with. Then it pivoted to substances, then to parenting, then back to the streets again. The story wasn't moving forward. It was spiraling outward. Pop culture comparisons got nastier. People said this made celebrity scandals from the early 2000s look tame. Others joked that even the Kardashians would have edited this out for being too unhinged. Someone compared it to a cautionary tale you'd see in a documentary with ominous background music and a narrator who speaks in slow disappointment. And yet, despite all the noise, there was still no clear confirmation. That absence became fuel. Silence was interpreted as guilt by some, strategy by others. Every minute without a response was treated like a plot twist. Comment sections kept refreshing, hoping for a live, a tweet, anything that could either shut the rumor down or blow it up even more. Then came the moral lectures. You know the ones. Long threads starting with "I don't usually comment on this but," followed by paragraphs of judgment disguised as advice. People who'd never met her suddenly became experts on her life, her choices, her responsibilities. Concern turned into superiority real quick. The baby remained at the center of it all, and that's what made the outrage stick. Once people believe a child is involved, nuance dies instantly. The conversation stopped being about what allegedly happened and turned into what should never happen. That shift locked the narrative into a darker lane. Brands stayed quiet. Industry friends stayed quiet. And that quiet felt loud. Because in celebrity culture, silence is rarely accidental. Fans began speculating about damage control, crisis meetings, and emergency PR calls happening behind closed doors. Whether true or not, it added to the sense that something serious had gone down. Meanwhile, parody accounts had a field day. Fake headlines went viral because people couldn't tell what was satire anymore. That's how blurry the line got. Reality and exaggeration blended until everything felt plausible and nothing felt trustworthy. The most unsettling part wasn't the jokes or the outrage. It was how quickly the internet moved unemotionally while still clinging to the story. 1 minute, people were furious. The next, they were entertained. That whiplash is how scandals survive. Outrage gives them birth, and boredom keeps them evolving. By the end of this phase, the story wasn't just about an alleged incident. It was about image, perception, and the fragile line celebrities walk when real life doesn't respect fame. The internet had turned a chaotic rumor into a cultural debate, and nobody knew how to put it back in the box, and just when it felt like the noise couldn't get louder. The aftermath started creeping in. After the noise peaked, something heavier settled in. The jokes flowed, the memes lost momentum, and what remained was the uncomfortable weight of consequences. This is the stage where scandals stop being funny and start being costly. The internet moved from laughing to watching closely, waiting to see who flinched first. Chrisean's name didn't trend the same way anymore. It wasn't explosive. It was uneasy. Comment sections shifted from chaos to disappointment, which is always worse. People stopped yelling and started shaking their heads. The tone changed from shock to exhaustion, like viewers realizing they'd been watching the same crash on repeat. Public perception hardened fast. Even those who once defended her began adding disclaimers before speaking. Support started sounding conditional, cautious, and tired. That's how you know a scandal has teeth. When fans defend you quietly instead of loudly, the damage has already spread. The conversations around Baby Jr. grew louder and more serious. People weren't debating rumors anymore. They were debating responsibility. Every past clip was reinterpreted through a darker lens. Moments that once seemed chaotic now looked reckless to critics, and concern became the dominant emotion online. Industry silence became impossible to ignore. No public support, no subtle shout-outs, no quiet reassurance. That absence spoke volumes. In celebrity culture, lack of alignment often signals distance, and distance signals risk. Brands don't like unpredictability, and unpredictability was now the headline. Commentary pages pivoted from breaking news to long-term impact. Posts asked whether this would affect future opportunities, appearances, and partnerships. The story wasn't about one night anymore. It was about patterns. Once the internet labels something a pattern, it becomes hard to shake that behind the scenes. People speculated about crisis control. Quiet conversations, emergency strategy shifts, and damage assessment became part of the narrative. Whether real or imagined, it reinforced the idea that this wasn't just noise. Something had gone wrong, and it needed managing. Relationships came under scrutiny next. Every association was questioned. Who was enabling? Who was absent? Who was complicit through silence? The internet doesn't just judge actions, it judges proximity. Guilt by association became another layer of fallout. What made it worse was the lack of closure. No clear explanation, no definitive denial, no moment that reset the story. Ambiguity kept the wound open. Without clarity, people filled gaps with suspicion, and suspicion is harder to undo than a lie. The narrative shifted from incident to cautionary tale. Posts framed this situation as another example of fame colliding with unresolved chaos. Comparisons were made to other celebrities who burned bright and fast. The tone wasn't mocking anymore. It was ominous. Even supporters admitted something felt off. Not criminal, not proven, but unsettling. That feeling lingered like background noise you can't mute. It followed every new mention of her name, every clip, every update, changing how people reacted before she even spoke. The internet eventually moved on, because it always does. But it didn't forget. This story became a reference point, something commenters would drag back up the next time drama surfaced. Scandals never really end. They just get archived for future arguments. And that's the real aftermath. Not cancellation, not exile, but a permanent stain on perception. A reminder that every chaotic moment gets stored somewhere online, waiting to be replayed. The streets may forget, but the internet never does. As the dust settled, one thing was clear. This wasn't the end of the conversation. It was a bookmark. A pause before the next chapter nobody is ready for yet. Because in this world, controversy doesn't fade. It reloads. And this is exactly why you never get comfortable watching celebrity chaos. Because the moment you think the story is over, the internet hits refresh and everything starts burning again. One night turns into a headline. One rumor turns into a reputation shift. And suddenly everybody's an expert with an opinion louder than facts. If this story made you pause, rewind, or say nah, this can't be real, then congratulations, you're officially trapped in the same cycle as the rest of us. The internet doesn't ask permission. It just drops the mess and watches people react. And trust me, this isn't the last time a situation like this is going to explode out of nowhere. So go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money and blocked your number. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is far from finished and the comment section stays more chaotic than the headlines. Subscribe if you're tired of sugar-coated narratives and want the raw, unfiltered breakdowns nobody else wants to touch. This channel doesn't do quiet. We do the stories everybody's whispering about and say them out loud. Scandals don't slow down here, they line up. Every week, another situation, another meltdown, another wait. What just happened moment waiting to be unpacked. And remember, today's rumor is tomorrow's documentary. Today's silence is next week's explanation. The internet never forgets, it just reloads. Stay locked in, stay curious, and stay ready. Because the next headline is already forming. Welcome to Celeb Insanity, where the drama never sleeps and the truth always comes with chaos. The truth always comes with chaos.